This is my ME360 ECU from Motorsport Electronics, and I want to mount it, and I've had kind of a few goes. I've decided to go with a different approach. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm still going to use rib nuts, but I'm going to bend the sheet up, and then in the middle it can be fixed on with 2 bolts. That's my idea. So I just need to decide how deep to have this in the fitwell box, and I think I can basically have any depth I want, to be honest. So let's just mark something. So now I'm going to bend this up, and one thing that's occurred to me is that it doesn't need to bend 90 degrees. 45 degrees would be absolutely fine. So anyway, I'm going to do that with my sheet metal bender over here. So here we go, and of course I have to remember to bend the right direction. Well, I'm going to go with about 45 degrees. So I'm going to make the mounting feet in the middle of the flange thing I've got here. Right, these things are actually 9mm, because in fact they're M6, not M5, so I'm not sure why I was thinking it was M5, but there we go. So I shall just do that then. 2 9mm holes. I shall just deburr them. Right, and now my setting tool. Right, so because the unit is going to be, I don't know which way up is it going to be mounted. It's going to be mounted that way up. Yeah, it is. Make sure to put the rib nut inserts in the right side, because that would be a nuisance. My M6 rib nut tool, which looks like it's this one, which needs a multitude of 13mm spanners. Using my British made rib nut setting tool. So I have one on there. Right, this is not an M6 fitting tool, that is in fact an M5 one. So I shall now get the right one and zoom on the top, and here we go. Okay, number 2. Okay, that's one side of my bracket. So I need to now make the other side. So I need to judge how far over the next bend needs to be. And I can see that there's a degree of squiffiness. I think I can sort that out using the bend in a second. Okay, so I have actually twisted the bracket over. It was slightly out of line, but by twisting it on the top of the bracket, obviously it's distorted the angle part here very slightly, but we're only talking a few millimeters. So unscrew that then and make the next bend. Here comes the next bend. Having chosen my angle, obviously I want this part to be the same height as that part, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Draw a line. This is harder than you would possibly think it would be. My neighbours is bashing something. Right, so that's going to go there, but of course I need to bend from the other side. So let's do that then. Let's see if that has come out right. And I can see straight away that my bend here is not in the right place. That's really quite annoying. I'm going to have to flatten that out. Okay, I'll straighten that out again, and I've just realised the reason why that went wrong is because this is not quite parallel to that, and I laid my strip across there. Of course, it intersected in the wrong place. So I need to make sure that is precisely parallel to that, which it isn't quite at the moment. It's really hard to judge precisely. So if I increase the bend here, so it looks better. Let's have a check with my straight edge. Okay, so my straight edge now intersects, you can see where the line was, intersects lower down now, so I'll need to make a different line. Well, that doesn't look too bad actually, so I'll put 2 bolts in on this side, then mark the other side, and hopefully we'll be there. Oh, no, not quite, because what's going on here? My riv nuts are at an angle. Well, that one is anyway. Huh! Now, who would have thunk it? Riv nut at an angle. What if I can knock that in straighter? Okay, with a little bit of hammering, the riv nut is in straight, which hopefully means I can screw this in properly. Yes, I can. So I've actually used the casing of the ECU to make as a drilling template. Just run a little M6 drill down there. So the ECU will hang down underneath the passenger footwell box like that, and I have test fitted it and it does look good, but unfortunately I need to get the windscreen wiper motor off in order to get to the top of the footwell box so that this bracket can be fixed into it. It's a bit of a nuisance, but I'll come back and show you when it's done. And finally, for now anyway, here is the ECU mounted upside down on my bracket, which you can see up there. 2 bolts hanging down with nylocks, so they won't be coming out anytime soon. Big flat washers on the other side of the bulkhead footwell box, all tucked up out of the way. And of course my harness adapter thing now plugs in, or is capable of being plugged in. Take my hand away for a minute. That's kind of how it's going to be. There is a slight problem because this chassis member means I can't pull the lock pin out. So in order to remove the harness, I'm going to have to take the ECU down. I possibly could remove the lock as another alternative, but anyway, I'm going to put up with that. It is only fixed on with 4 M6s, so yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that sub-project. So yeah, we have the harness adapter thing coming out through the bulkhead up here from the engine on the other side, where it is in fact plugged in right now. Bending around, looks like this probably needs to be shortened, and this plug goes in here, and that should be quite neat, I think. I just need to terminate all these pins now, 40 odd of them. Yeah, quite pleased with that. So obviously it's still quite a mess in here, but we have the general idea. So the ECU is mounted, hope you can see it, under here. There it is, mounted upside down. There is the connecting plug. There is the back of the engine harness. There are quite a few leads that need to be still connected, but as you can see, I've started with the whole ECU fuse box dedicated to the ECU, nothing else. And other things like this is a fuel pump relay, more of which another time I think. So yeah, I mean, we are nearly there, and the ECU itself is nicely fitted. So if I can move my light, nicely fitted underneath the bottom of the footwell box, and of course on the other side, this is what we see. That's the engine harness disappearing up to the side of the engine plug there. There are the other plugs which I was troubled by a little while ago, and all of these, well, the engine is fully wired apart from the fact the intake thing isn't there at the moment. But yeah, so with just a little bit more connectivity stuff, we could even be in a position to test the ECU. And you know what that means, don't you? Do you? If you got as far as this, thanks very much for watching. And in case you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. That would be really encouraging for me. So catch you on the next one.